I think Masterclass crowdfunding is a great idea because we can give education to the investors and borrowers. And also the platforms itself have to invest in videos, in events to make sure people understand that crowdfunding is the alternative finance.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Masterclass Talks, brought to you by Masterclass Crowdfunding.com. I'm David Johnson and your host for this interview, and I am delighted to introduce to you today our special guest. Maria Samayoa is the lead production manager at RebuildingSociety.com, a peer-to-peer lending company based here in the UK. The company is a crowd lending company that facilitates business loans funded by individuals. Maria has been in the crowdfunding industry for over 5 years and has assisted numerous platforms to launch successfully. Maria has excellent understanding of project management, processes and test strategies, and is recognised as one of the foremost authorities in crowdfunding in the UK today. So Maria, absolutely delighted to welcome you today to Masterclass Talks, brought to you by Masterclass Crowdfunding.com. So it's a pleasure to have you here. So just initially, give me a little bit about your background, where you're from, and your early business life.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. So I'm from Spain. I studied economic science in Madrid, in Spain. Right after, I started working in Santander Bank in the operational and technology department. It was in charge of mitigating losses coming from bad procedures or failed procedures. It was quite interesting, to be honest. But then I decided over 6 years ago to move to London. And then I started working in the company that I'm working currently for 5 years now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you've moved to London from Madrid, to major cities in Europe. How do you enjoy London?
I really like London. I love London. Besides the weather, in Madrid is a little bit better. But yeah, London is a great city with a lot of opportunities, professional opportunities for my career. So I think it's the best place to be right now in terms of finance.
Okay, so if you had to choose between London and Madrid, or is that an unfair question?
Well, my heart will choose Madrid and my brain will choose London.
That's a good answer. That's a very good answer. So we're here today to talk about crowdfunding particularly. So when did you first come across crowdfunding, and how did you then get involved in the crowdfunding industry?
Well, the first time I heard about the industry was over 6 years ago now. Because I met the managing director of my company, Daniel Rajkumar. He was looking for someone to help with his very new company at that time. And I started working with him first as a testing manager, and then I moved to the senior project manager that I am right now of the white label crowdfunding solution company he has right now.
Okay. I first met Dan a few months ago over in Lithuania. It was the European Crowdfunding Network 6th annual conference, and Dan was one of the speakers, and I was quite taken by his enthusiasm and his passion for crowdfunding. His story, as I recall, he shared with the audience that was there. I think there's well over 100 people there at the convention, and he talked about how as a young entrepreneur he was going to banks and lending institutions to receive capital for his projects, and kept being rejected, kept being turned down, and that seemed to drive him towards alternative finance and ultimately to crowdfunding. So he seems to have a real passion for crowdfunding, and I'm sure you find that from working with him day on day.
Yeah, exactly. He's very enthusiastic about the industry. He has a lot of knowledge already about it. I believe 7 years ago he didn't know about crowdfunding either, but right now the industry is growing and he's growing with the industry. So I think it was a really good opportunity for him to launch the company that we have currently.
So Maria, you work with Dan on RebuildingSociety.com, and that is a lending platform. So there are of course different types of crowdfunding models in the reward-based, equity-based, social causes, but You're very much a specialist in the lending crowdfunding. So just explain to the listeners, what is lending crowdfunding?
Peer-to-peer lending is the practice of lending money to borrowers, to businesses and individuals online. So in rebuildingsociety.com, what we do is we connect SMEs, borrowers, with individual investors looking for better returns than the ones they get coming from banks, for example, or saving accounts.
Okay, I know you also do some other services or provide services to the crowdfunding market through whitelabel.com. So again, explain what services you provide with that and how that helps the industry.
Okay, so we provide technology solutions to crowdfunding websites. So the services we have come from adapting your existing website to crowdfunding, or we can build the platform from the beginning according to the client's needs. So all over the crowdlending industry.
Okay. So let's say I'm a entrepreneur or SME and I want to raise £100,000. What is the benefits of coming to your platform to raise that money?
Okay, so first of all, it is very easy to apply online. So you only have to go to rebuildingsociety.com and then click on apply loan. It is a 4-step process, and you will get a response very quick. And in few days, you can have your loan live on the marketplace. So then we have low fees, so just a fixed fee when the loan is drawn down, and then you make the repayments to the investors, and that's it. And then you will be able to reapply for another loan if the first one was
Can you give
successful.
me any idea on how many businesses that you've helped or how many businesses have applied through your platform?
Well, we lend over 12 million already.
Very good.
Which is quite good.
Yeah.
And also for investors, they have a 9.6% return, which is really good as well.
That's the average on the platform?
That's the average on the platform.
I was going to ask that next, actually, in terms of investors. So if I was an investor and I'm looking at where I want to invest some capital, what would you say are the main attractions to come to a lending platform?
So investors usually get in a peer-to-peer lending platform from 8% to 15% return, which is quite higher than the return they get from banks, for example. So with the average of 9.6% of returns and the ISA tax-free, it makes the crowd lending quite attractive for them.
Is there some security with that, or how does that work? If I was to put money on the platform as an investor, am I protected in any way?
Well, we ask for personal guarantees to the borrowers, and the percentage of default is really low in crowdfunding in our platform.
Okay. So in terms of a couple of case studies, so you've obviously lent over 12 million sterling, which is a lot of businesses have been helped through your platform, which is brilliant. It's what we want to do within crowdfunding, is help businesses obviously receive their funds. But in terms of a case study, can you give me any examples of a company that came to you looking for a loan and what sort of amount they wanted and how it went for them?
Okay. So for example, an accounting firm came to our platform because they've been looking for an acquisition and they needed money for that. It was in 2013 and they already repaid the full loan, and they are applying for a second loan
for a second
acquisition.
Very good.
So it is quite exciting because we see we can help SMEs, local SMEs, and also they use their own investors as well, so they refer the loan to people they know already.
Okay, it's an amazing proof of concept if they're coming back for a second loan.
Yeah.
It shows they were very happy with the platform and the service and what they achieved first time round.
Exactly.
That's obviously very, very positive. We both know this industry isn't all roses. So we know some people come to crowdfunding platforms with a request for a project or a request for a loan, and they almost believe in magic that somehow money's going to come from nowhere. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you have found that companies make when they approach you about using your platform?
Well, first of all, they believe the money come itself. And instead, they need to do campaigns, they need to promote the loans on the platform. We do it for them as well, but they need to have people involved already because it will attract other investors. Also, choosing the wrong platform for the loan application. They need to do some research, they need to see if the portfolio of the investors, the money already lent to borrowers, to see if the platform is a good choice for the project. Also, we have a discussion forum in each loan application, so investors can ask questions to the borrowers. Sometimes they don't take it serious, so they don't answer the right questions to the investors, and then it will look a little bit weak coming from the borrowers.
Where do you see the industry going over the next, say, 3 to 5 years? What changes do you see happening, or how do you see the industry growing?
The industry is quite young, but it keeps maturing with time. But I think it's going in the right direction. So people now know about the industry very well. So they see the crowd lending as an alternative finance, which is quite good. Also, one of the new procedures is the automated investing, which is pretty exciting because they can choose between a range of crowdfunding platforms to invest within a setting of requirements.
So digital currency seems to be in the news almost every time you read an article or turn on the television. So how do you think digital currency will impact crowdfunding moving forward?
Okay, about cryptocurrency, this is the future, definitely. So in peer-to-peer, we need to introduce cryptocurrencies in peer-to-peer lending, but they have to be regulated. So for example, Bitcoin is not driven by any corporate interested in regulating the cryptocurrency. So the FCA won't be able to authorize that on peer-to-peer. But there are other cryptocurrencies like Ripple. I don't know if you heard about Ripple. So Ripple is in the process to be regulated. Some of the banks are investing in Ripples. And, well, it is in a testing stage, but it could be one of the first cryptocurrencies accepted by bank transactions.
Okay, that would certainly be exciting and would be a major step forward, I think, exactly. for the crowdfunding industry.
Yeah.
If you can marry two major trends in the world today, crowdfunding, digital currency, bring them together, that has to be exciting for the industry.
That is very exciting. And also for the investors is very interesting as well, because they can save money, they can save time, and also they can access to international investments in one click.
Very good, very good. You mentioned regulation there, and of course the lending platforms along with the equity platforms are regulated by the FCA. So how does that affect operating, or how have you found that's impacted on your own particular company?
Well, in my company, we've got the FCA authorization already. We applied in 2014 when everyone was applying. We were one of the first ones, actually. It took a couple of years, so it was an interesting process. But it gave the confidence to the investors to go to the crowd lending platforms and invest on our product. So before maybe they were a little bit scared about the industry, but now having authorization, I think it helped. It helped a lot the industry.
So at Masterclass Crowdfunding.com, we are an education platform. We want to provide information for the wider crowdfunding industry. Do you think education is important, and is there a place for a platform like ours?
I think Masterclass Crowdfunding is a great idea because we can give education to the investors and borrowers. And also the platforms itself have to invest in videos, in events to make sure people understand that crowdfunding is the alternative finance.
So give me one sentence, Maria, to sell a lending platform and a company like yourselves.
If they are investors, reinvest your repayments quickly to benefit from the compounding. If they are businesses, quick access to funds with less fees. And if they are companies looking for launching a crowdfunding platform, this is the future.
Excellent. So you came as one of our guest speakers in London last month when we had a Masterclass crowdfunding event. How did you enjoy that event, and did you find it successful?
Yeah, I think the event was great. It was a really good opportunity to meet other SMEs, other people in the industry. It was very successful.
Okay. Maria, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you coming to visit us today in the studios, and we look forward to perhaps interviewing you again in the near future.
Sure.
As your crowdfunding experience grows and as your company grows. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you again soon.